Welcome to our breakdown of the key bills to be considered the week of January 6th, 2025. Let's be honest, the world of government legislation isn't exactly known for its edge-of-your-seat excitement, but believe it or not, these bills, these seemingly dull collections of words and clauses actually have the power to impact all of our lives. So, over the next few minutes, we're going to dive into the details of each bill, decipher the jargon, and explain what they could mean for you. Because let's face it, someone has to pay attention to this stuff, and it might as well be us. Let's get started. First up, we have H.R. 192, the Amtrak Executive Bonus Disclosure Act. This bill is all about transparency. Amtrak receives billions of dollars in taxpayer funding every year, and while some of that money goes towards running trains, a good chunk also goes towards executive compensation, including bonuses. The problem is we don't really know how much these bonuses are or what criteria Amtrak uses to decide who gets them. H.R. 192 aims to pry open that black box and shine a light on those executive bonuses. It would require Amtrak to provide detailed reports on how much they're paying their top executives in bonuses and what those executives actually did to deserve them. Think of it like this. It's your money, taxpayer money, that's going towards these bonuses. Don't you deserve to know where it's going and why? That's what H.R. 192 is trying to do. Bring a little bit of transparency to the world of Amtrak executive compensation. Let's move on. Next up, H.R. 188, the Amtrak Transparency and Accountability for Passengers and Taxpayers Act. This bill aims to make Amtrak more accountable and transparent. It focuses on improving on-time performance and financial oversight. The goal is to ensure Amtrak serves passengers and taxpayers efficiently. So while it may not be glamorous, H.R. 188 aims to make Amtrak a better experience for everyone. On to the next. Moving on from Amtrak, let's talk natural disasters. We're talking about H.R. 152, the Federal Disaster Assistance Coordination Act. If you've ever experienced a natural disaster, you know that the aftermath can be chaotic. The last thing you want to be doing while sifting through the wreckage of your life is navigating a bureaucratic maze of government agencies and aid programs. And yet, that's often the reality. When disaster strikes, a whole slew of federal agencies swoop in, each with their own rules, regulations, and acronyms. H.R. 152 aims to bring some order to this chaos. It wants to streamline and improve the coordination of federal disaster assistance so that help can reach those who need it quickly and efficiently. This means cutting through the red tape, improving communication between agencies, and making sure that everyone is on the same page. It's about making the disaster relief process less about navigating bureaucratic hurdles and more about actually getting people the help they need when they need it. Next up, H.R. 153, Following the Money Trail. H.R. 153, the Post-Disaster Assistance Online Accountability Act, focuses on transparency and accountability in disaster relief funds. After major disasters, billions are allocated in aid, but some funds may go missing. Remember Hurricane Katrina? There were reports of fraud and misuse of funds. This bill mandates an online platform to track and report fund distribution. Think of it as a public ledger for disaster relief. Transparency and accountability are key. Moving on. H.R. 164, the Power of Renewables. Let's shift gears now from natural disasters to a different kind of disaster, climate change. H.R. 164, the Power Act of 2025, is here to save the day. This bill is all about promoting renewable energy projects and reducing our reliance on fossil fuels. The Power Act is like a superhero team-up of renewable energy initiatives. It includes provisions to expand solar and wind power, promote energy efficiency, invest in clean energy research and development, and create jobs in the green energy sector. If fossil fuels are the villains of this story, then renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydro are the superheroes. And the Power Act is like their origin story, giving them the powers they need to fight climate change and save the day. Let's keep going. H.R. 144, TVA salaries exposed. Now, for a change of pace, let's talk about government transparency. Specifically, the Tennessee Valley Authority's lack thereof. Enter H.R. 144, the Tennessee Valley Authority Salary Transparency Act. This bill is like a spotlight shining directly on the salaries of TVA executives. The TVA is a federally owned corporation that provides electricity to millions of people in the southeastern United States. But unlike singers who's perfectly entitled to keep their finances private, the TVA is a public entity, which means it's accountable to the public. And that includes being transparent about how it spends our money, including how much it pays its top executives. This bill would require the TVA to disclose the salaries of its executives, making it clear just how much those in charge are being compensated. On to the final scene. H.R. 189, CC Real Estate, a necessary luxury. This bill is all about fiscal responsibility. The Securities and Exchange Commission, or CC, is the federal agency responsible for regulating the securities industry. And like any large government agency, the SEC needs office space to house its employees and conduct its business. But here's the thing. The SEC has the authority to lease real estate, and it's been using that authority to lease some pretty swanky office space. We're talking about prime real estate in cities like Washington, D.C., New York City, and Los Angeles. H.R. 189 says enough is enough. This bill seeks to revoke the SEC's authority to lease real estate, arguing that it's an unnecessary expenditure and that the agency should be looking for ways to cut costs, not add to them. Let's wrap this up. Final thoughts. And there you have it, folks, your crash course in the key bills to be considered the week of January 6th, 2025. We've covered everything from Amtrak bonuses and disaster relief funds to renewable energy and SEC real estate. It's been a whirlwind tour of legislative minutiae, but hopefully you've learned a thing or two along the way. While it's easy to get bogged down in the jargon and the complexities of the legislative process, it's important to remember that these bills have real-world consequences. Stay informed and engaged, as these decisions will shape our future. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.